My name is Chelsea Morgan. I'm 34. At exactly 1:47 p.m. on Easter Sunday, I was standing in my parents' backyard in front of 32 relatives watching my younger brother Justin laugh in my 7-year-old daughter's face because the doll he'd given her had one arm missing and a cracked face. The temperature was 73 degrees, the ham was getting cold on the outdoor patio table, and my mother was smiling like he'd just told the funniest joke she'd ever heard. "That's exactly the kind of gift for poor kids," Justin said, loud enough for everyone to hear. He was holding a champagne glass even though it was barely past lunch. "It suits the ones who aren't good enough." My daughter Kay stood there clutching that broken doll against her yellow Easter dress, the one I'd stayed up until 2 a.m. hemming because we couldn't afford the alterations at the dry cleaner. Her face had gone completely still. Not crying, not yet. Just frozen in that terrible moment when a child realizes an adult is being deliberately cruel. I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. A notification from my banking app. Another charge. $487.32 at a toy store in Sherman Oaks. Posted 41 minutes ago. That's when I knew exactly what had happened. Justin's 5 children were running around the backyard with brand new tablets, designer sneakers, and remote control cars that I recognized from the luxury toy store on Riverside Drive. Every single gift wrapped in expensive metallic paper with silk ribbons. Meanwhile, my daughter was holding a clearance bin reject that looked like it had been through a garbage disposal, and I had paid for all of it. Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now and what time is it there. Let me take you back 8 months to understand how it got to this point. I was never supposed to be the one holding my family together financially. I worked full-time as an operations coordinator for a medical supply company, pulling $52,000 a year before taxes. Not rich, not poor, comfortable enough to own a modest 3-bedroom house in Van Nuys and keep my daughter in a decent public school. My younger brother Justin was supposed to be the successful one. He'd gone to business school, talked constantly about his ventures and investments, drove a leased BMW he couldn't actually afford. He had 5 kids with his wife Monica ranging from ages 3 to 12. They lived in a rental in Studio City that cost $3,400 a month, which should have been my first warning sign. Last August, Justin called me at 10:23 p.m. on a Tuesday night. I remember because I was in the middle of helping Kay with her multiplication tables and my phone kept buzzing on the kitchen counter. "Chels, I need a favor." His voice had that practiced casual tone that meant he was about to ask for money. "Monica's car died. Like, completely dead. We need $1,200 for the repairs, and we're tapped out until my commission check clears next week." I'd heard versions of this story maybe 15 times over the past 3 years. The commission check that was always coming next week. The investment that was about to pay off. The client who was definitely going to sign. "Justin, I just sent you $340 last month for Emma's soccer registration." I know, and I appreciate it. This is different. This is an emergency. Monica can't get to work without a car. We've got 5 kids, Chelsea. 5. You've got 1. There it was. The comparison. Like having 1 child instead of 5 meant I was swimming in expendable income. "I can help with $500, I said finally. "But that's it until next month." "You're a lifesaver." He paused. "Actually, there's an easier way. Why don't you add me as an authorized user on one of your credit cards, just for emergencies? That way I don't have to keep calling you for every little thing. I'll pay you back, obviously." I should have said no. I should have hung up. But my mother had been in my ear for months about helping family and being there for your brother and what will people at church think if we don't support each other. So I did it. I added Justin to my Chase card as an auxiliary user. Credit limit, $8,500. I told him explicitly, on the phone, in a text message, and again in person. This is for actual emergencies only, medical, car repairs, not luxuries. "Of course," he'd said. "Obviously. I'm not an idiot, Chelsea. Nah." The card arrived at his house 6 days later. For the first month, nothing happened. The card sat with a zero balance. I actually started to relax. Then in September, small charges started appearing. $43.50 at Target, $67.23 at Ralph's, $128 at CVS. When I asked about them, Justin always had an explanation. Diapers for the twins. They go through like 8 a day. Groceries. Have you seen how much 5 kids eat? Prescription for Monica's migraines. Insurance didn't cover it. They were all reasonable, all believable. And honestly, I was too busy with my own life to scrutinize every charge. I worked 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, picked up Kay from after-school care, made dinner, helped with homework, did laundry, paid bills. I fell into bed exhausted every night. The charges kept coming. $200 here, $150 there. By October, the card had a running balance of $890. By November, $1,640. By December, $2,400. I called Justin on December 18th at 7:15 a.m. Before I left for work. The card is at $2,400, I said, skipping pleasantries. I need you to start paying it down. Jesus, Chelsea, it's not even Christmas yet. Can you relax? I'll pay you back in January when my bonus comes through. You said that in November. And I meant it. The bonus got delayed. Corporate bureaucracy, you know how it is. His voice shifted to that irritated edge he used when he thought I was being unreasonable. I've got 5 kids to buy Christmas presents for. You've got one. Do the math. That's not my fault, Justin. Wow. Okay. So you're saying my kids don't deserve Christmas because I made different life choices than you? That's really nice, Chels. Real charitable. My stomach clenched. He had this way of twisting everything so I was the selfish one, the cold one, the sister who didn't care about her nieces and nephews. I didn't say that. You implied it. He paused, and I could hear one of his kids crying in the background. Look, I'm drowning here. Monica's car is on its last legs again. Emma needs braces. The twins need new car seats because they're outgrowing the old ones. I'm trying to keep 5 kids fed and clothed and happy, and you're nickel and diming me over a credit card you said I could use for emergencies. For emergencies, Justin. Not for... These are emergencies. To me, to my family. Just because they're not emergencies to you doesn't mean they don't matter. I didn't have an answer for that. So I did what I always did. I apologized. I told him to be more careful. I hung up feeling like I was the bad guy. Christmas came and went. I bought Kay 3 presents from Target and 1 slightly nicer doll from Walmart because she'd been asking for one all year. Total spent $127. I wrapped them carefully in discount wrapping paper and put them under our small artificial tree. On Christmas morning, we drove to my parents' house in Glendale for the family gathering. The house was a white, single-story ranch with a manicured front lawn and a backyard big enough for the kids to run around. My father, Dennis, was already setting up folding chairs. My mother, Patricia, was in the kitchen making her famous green bean casserole. Justin's family arrived 20 minutes later in the BMW. Everyone dressed like they'd walked out of a Nordstrom catalog. His kids came bursting through the front door with armfuls of presents. I watched as they tore through gift after gift. An iPad for Emma, a Nintendo Switch for Tyler, American Girl dolls for the twins, a deluxe train set for the youngest. Every single item was top-tier, name-brand, expensive. Kay sat on the couch with her 3 Target presents, trying to look happy. But I saw her watching her cousins with that quiet expression kids get when they're learning that life isn't fair. Justin, this is too much, Monica said at one point, but she was smiling. She didn't mean it. Only the best for my kids, Justin said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Then he looked at me. Some of us prioritize our children. My face burned so hot I could feel my pulse in my ears. After presents, after dinner, after pie, I went into my parents' bathroom and opened my banking app. The Chase card balance had jumped to $3,247.86. A charge for $487.32 at Riverside Toy Emporium had posted on December 23rd. Another for $890 at Target on December 22nd. Another for $423. 18 at Nordstrom Kids on December 21st. I sat on the edge of the bathtub for 11 minutes, staring at those numbers. He'd used my credit card to buy his children's Christmas presents, all of them, while giving my daughter nothing. I wanted to walk out of that bathroom and confront him in front of everyone. I wanted to show my parents the bank statement. I wanted to scream that I'd been subsidizing his entire lifestyle for months, but I didn't, because that's not what we did in our family. We kept things quiet. We didn't make scenes. We protected each other's reputations, especially in front of the kids. So I wiped my face, fixed my lipstick, and went back to the living room. January came. The bonus didn't. The card balance hit $3,600, then $4,100, then $4,800. Every time I called, Justin had a new crisis. The furnace broke. One of the twins needed an emergency dental procedure. The car needed new brakes. "I'll pay you back," he said every single time. "I promise. You know I'm good for it." But he never was. By February, I'd stopped asking. I just watched the charges pile up like debris from a shipwreck. I cut back on everything. No more coffee shop runs before work. No more Target trips for things we didn't absolutely need. Kay's birthday party in March was at our house with a grocery store cake instead of the trampoline park she'd asked for. "We're saving money right now, baby," I told her. "But we'll have fun, I promise." She didn't complain. She never did. That made it worse. Then came Easter. My mother called me on the Wednesday before and told me everyone was expected at their house on Sunday at noon for brunch. "Wear something nice," she said, "and bring a dessert, maybe those lemon bars you made last year." I showed up at 11:52 a.m. with a pan of lemon bars I'd made at 6 a.m. that morning and a gift bag full of personalized presents I'd spent 3 weeks finding on clearance and at thrift stores. A cookbook for my mother. A vintage watch for my father. Age-appropriate books for each of Justin's 5 kids with their names written inside the covers in calligraphy I'd practiced for hours. Kay was wearing her yellow dress and white sandals, her hair in 2 careful braids I'd done while she ate breakfast. The backyard was set up beautifully. White tablecloth on the patio table, fresh flowers in mason jars, a full spread of ham, scalloped potatoes, fruit salad, dinner rolls. At least 30 people milling around. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends. Justin and his family hadn't arrived yet. "Chelsea!" My mother pulled me into a hug that smelled like Chanel No. 5 and hairspray. "You look tired, honey. Are you sleeping okay?" "I'm fine, Mom." "You work too hard. You should find a man to help you out. Kay needs a father figure." I bit the inside of my cheek and said nothing. Justin's family arrived at 12:34 p.m., in their usual chaos. Kids everywhere. Monica looking perfect in a designer dress. Justin in pressed khakis and a polo shirt that probably cost more than my entire outfit. He was carrying a bag of gifts. "Easter presents," he announced, dumping the bag on the patio table. Couldn't let the day go by without spoiling my favorite people. He handed out presents to his own children first, more expensive toys, more designer clothes. Then he turned to my parents. "For you, Mom, that perfume you mentioned." My mother's eyes actually teared up. "Justin, you shouldn't have." "And Dad, those golf balls you wanted." My father clapped him on the shoulder. "Good man." Then Justin turned to Kay. "And for my favorite niece," he said, pulling something out of the bottom of the bag. It was wrapped in crumpled newspaper. Not even real wrapping paper. Newspaper. Kay took it carefully and peeled back the paper. Inside was a doll. But not like the ones his daughters had been carrying around. This doll was clearly used. Dirty blonde hair matted in chunks. One arm missing from the shoulder socket. A crack running down the left side of its ceramic face. Kay held it carefully, turning it over in her small hands like she was trying to figure out if this was a joke. "It's broken," she said finally, her voice very quiet. Justin laughed. Actually laughed. Yeah, I found it in the garage. Figured it was better than nothing. The backyard went quiet. Went. Not totally silent, but that sudden drop in conversation volume that happens when people sense something uncomfortable is about to unfold. My mother looked at the doll, then at Kay, then back at Justin. She smiled. How thoughtful. Kay can practice her creativity fixing it up. Justin grinned wider. That's exactly the kind of gift for poor kids. It suits the ones who aren't good enough. That's when my phone buzzed. I pulled it out. The banking app notification was still on my screen. $487.32 at Riverside Toy Emporium. Posted 41 minutes ago. I opened the app fully and went to the transaction history. I scrolled through the past 48 hours. April 19th, 10:23. AM, $890 Target, Sherman Oaks. April 19th, 11:07. AM, $267.45. Party City, Van Nuys, April 19th, 1:06 p.m. $487.32. Riverside Toy Emporium, Studio City, April 20th, yesterday, 4:34 p.m. $145.67. Nordstrom Rack, Glendale. I looked up at Justin's 5 children. At the brand new Easter baskets overflowing with candy and toys, at the designer outfits, at the tablets they were already absorbed in. Then I looked at my daughter holding her broken garage sale doll wrapped in newspaper. I'd paid for every single one of those gifts. All of them. While he gave my child literal trash. Something inside me went completely still and cold. I walked over to the patio table where I'd set down my gift bag. I reached in and pulled out the 5 books I'd spent 3 weeks finding. First editions, some of them. Rare copies, each one chosen specifically for the child whose name was written inside. Actually, I said, my voice cutting through the conversations, I'm going to need these back. Justin looked over, champagne glass halfway to his lips. What? The books. I'm taking them back. I gathered them up, one by one. And this. I picked up my mother's cookbook. And this. I grabbed my father's watch. My mother's smile had frozen. Chelsea, what are you doing? Taking back my gifts. I've changed my mind about giving them. Justin set down his glass. Are you seriously having a tantrum right now, in front of everyone? No tantrum, just a realization. I looked directly at him. Check your wallet. I'm going to need that card back too. His face changed, just slightly, a flicker of something that might have been panic. What card? The Chase card, the auxiliary card I gave you 8 months ago for emergencies. The backyard had gone completely silent now. Everyone was staring. I don't have it with me, Justin said. Yes, you do. You used it 41 minutes ago. $487.32 at Riverside Toy Emporium. I pulled up my phone and turned the screen toward him. And yesterday, and the day before, and every day for the past 8 months. My mother stepped forward. Chelsea, this isn't the time. You told me it was for emergencies, I continued, still looking at Justin. Medical bills, car repairs, diapers, groceries. That's what you said. Those were emergencies, Justin said, but his voice had lost its confidence. $890 at Target 2 days ago? $267 at Party City? $487 at a luxury toy store? I gestured at his children's Easter baskets. These are the emergencies? Monica had gone pale. Justin, what is she talking about? It's nothing. It's just... The card has a balance of $5,247.86, I said. Each word came out very clear and very calm. You've spent $5,247.86 of my money in 8 months while telling me you'd pay me back, while telling me you were buying diapers and groceries, while making me feel guilty for asking about it. My father cleared his throat. Justin, is this true? It's not like that. Chelsea makes more than I do. She doesn't have 5 kids to support. She's being selfish about... I make $52,000 a year before taxes, I interrupted. I have a mortgage. I have a daughter. I've been cutting back on everything for months because I've been covering your lifestyle. And today you showed up to Easter, bought your kids hundreds of dollars worth of gifts with my money, and gave my daughter a broken doll you found in your garage. The silence was deafening. Kay was still holding the doll, her eyes wide. That's exactly the kind of gift for poor kids, I repeated Justin's words back to him. It suits the ones who aren't good enough. That's what you said. About my daughter, while spending my money on yours. My mother's hand flew to her chest. Chelsea, he didn't mean… Mom, stop. I'd never used that tone with her before. Just stop. I'm done pretending this is okay. I turned to Justin. I'm freezing the card the second I get to my car. Any charges after 2 p.m. Today will be reported as fraud. You have until Friday to pay off the full balance, or I'm filing a police report. You wouldn't, Justin said. Try me. I gathered my gifts, took Kay's hand, and walked toward the side gate. Behind me, I heard my mother. Chelsea Marie Morgan, you get back here right now. I didn't stop. I heard my father. Patricia, let her go. I heard Monica. Justin, what the hell did you do? I heard Justin. This is insane. She's lost her mind. Over a few charges. I made it to my car, buckled Kay into her booster seat, and sat in the driver's seat with my hands shaking on the steering wheel. Mom? Kay's voice was small from the back seat. Are we in trouble? No, baby. We're not in trouble. Uncle Justin was mean. Yes, he was. Are you mad at me? I turned to look at her. She was still holding that horrible broken doll, her face worried. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anyone. I realized something today. What? That it's okay to stop helping people who don't respect you. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and went through the process of freezing Justin's auxiliary card. It took exactly 2 minutes and 47 seconds. A notification popped up. Card ending in 8834 has been deactivated. I exhaled for what felt like the first time in months. Then I drove us to Dairy Queen and bought Kay the largest blizzard they made. The fallout started that night. My mother called at 8:47 p.m. You embarrassed us. In front of the entire family. The church people were there. The Hendersons, Aunt Carol. What are they going to think? I don't care what they think, Mom. That's your problem. You've always been selfish. Justin has 5 children. 5. He's struggling. And you. I've been paying for those 5 children for 8 months, without being asked, without being thanked, while he mocked my daughter. He gave her a gift. He gave her garbage, Mom, literal garage trash, while using my credit card to buy his kids' iPads. Silence on the other end. Then, you're tearing this family apart. No, I'm protecting my daughter. There's a difference. She hung up. Justin texted at 11:03 p.m. You're really going to do this? Ruin me over money? I didn't respond. He texted again at 11:34 p.m. Fine, keep your money. See if I ever ask you for help again. Still didn't respond. Monica called the next morning. Chelsea, I didn't know about the card, about how much he was spending. I thought it was just a few small things. It's been $5,247.86, Monica. Her voice cracked. I'm so sorry. I'll pay you back. I don't know how, but I will. I don't want you to pay me back. I want Justin to take responsibility. He won't. You know he won't. Then I guess we know who he really is. She didn't argue. Over the next 3 days, my phone exploded with messages. Aunt Carol telling me I was breaking my mother's heart. Cousin Linda saying I should be more understanding. Uncle Robert saying family is supposed to help each other. Only my father stayed quiet. On Wednesday, he showed up at my house at 6:14 p.m., right as I was making dinner. I saw his truck through the kitchen window, and my stomach dropped. I opened the door. Dad? Can I come in? I let him in. He sat at my kitchen table, the same table I'd been sitting at 8 months ago when Justin first called asking for help. Your mother is angry, he said. I know. She thinks you humiliated us. I know that too. He was quiet for a moment, turning his coffee mug in his hands. I went through Justin's financial records. He gave me access after the Easter situation, wanted to prove he was struggling. I waited. He makes $78,000 a year, plus commission. He's been making that for 3 years. My hands went still on the cutting board where I'd been chopping vegetables. The BMW lease is $620 a month. The apartment is $3,400. Monica doesn't work because Justin said the daycare costs weren't worth it. But I did the math. She could have worked part-time and still come out ahead. He looked up at me. They live beyond their means. They always have. And they've been using you to subsidize it. Why are you telling me this? Because your mother won't. Because she's convinced Justin is the victim here. Because someone needs to say it out loud. He paused. You did the right thing, at Easter, walking away. My throat closed up. I'm sorry I didn't say it then. In front of everyone. I should have. It's okay. It's not. But I'm saying it now. You don't owe him anything, not anymore. He finished his coffee, hugged me at the door, and left. That night, I pulled out every bank statement from the past 8 months and highlighted every charge Justin had made. Groceries, toys, clothes, restaurants, party supplies, sports equipment, even a $340 charge at a spa in Beverly Hills that I'm absolutely certain wasn't an emergency. I made copies of everything and put them in a folder labeled Evidence. Then I sat down and wrote an email to Justin with Monica CC'd. I'm attaching 8 months of credit card statements showing every charge you made on my auxiliary card. The total is $5,247.86. You have until May 15th to pay this amount in full or set up a payment plan with concrete dates and amounts. If I don't hear from you by then, I will be filing a small claims court case and submitting these statements as evidence. This is not negotiable. Chelsea. I hit send at 9:47 p.m. Justin responded at 10:23 p.m. You're actually going to take me to court? Your own brother? Over money? I wrote back, yes. No response after that. May 15th came and went. No payment plan, no communication at all. On May 16th, I filed the small claims paperwork. Court date set for July 12th at 9 a.m. The next 2 months were brutal. My mother stopped speaking to me entirely. Justin told everyone who would listen that I was money-obsessed and vindictive. Aunt Carol sent me a long Facebook message about how blood is thicker than water and you'll regret this when it's too late. But I also got surprising support. Monica reached out and said she was separating from Justin. I can't be with someone who lies like this, who uses people. I'm sorry, Chelsea. My father started coming by every Sunday to take Kay to the park, just the two of them. 3 of my cousins privately messaged me saying they'd had similar experiences with Justin borrowing money and never paying it back. And I got my paperwork in order. Bank statements, text message records. The original message where Justin promised it was just for emergencies, screenshots of charges at luxury stores. I even pulled my work time card records showing I'd been at my desk on days when Justin claimed I'd promised to cover certain expenses in person. July 12th arrived. I woke up at 5:32 a.m. Even though court wasn't until 9. I couldn't sleep. Kay was at my father's house for the day. I'd told her I had an important work meeting. I dressed in my most professional outfit. Navy suit I'd bought for job interviews 3 years ago. White blouse, minimal jewelry. I looked like I was going to a funeral. I arrived at the courthouse at 8:41 a.m. The building was beige stucco with narrow windows. The kind of place that feels designed to make you uncomfortable. I sat in the hallway on a wooden bench with my folder of evidence, watching other people come and go. Justin showed up at 8:58 a.m. with Monica. Wait, with Monica? They weren't separated anymore? She saw my confusion and walked over while Justin checked in at the clerk's desk. We're trying to work it out, she said quietly. For the kids, But I told him he has to make this right. That's why I'm here. To make sure he tells the truth. I didn't know what to say to that. I brought something, she continued, pulling a manila envelope from her purse. Financial records. From our joint account. I thought you should have them. She handed me the envelope and walked back to Justin before I could respond. I opened it right there in the hallway. Inside were bank statements from Justin and Monica's joint checking account for the past year. She'd highlighted charges with a pink marker, $2,400 at a casino in Las Vegas. November, $1,800 at a high-end steakhouse. December, $950 at a golf course. January, $3,200 at Best Buy for a 75-inch television. February, charge after charge, luxury purchases, entertainment, gambling. While he was telling me he couldn't afford diapers, there was a sticky note in Monica's handwriting. He told me these were work expenses or gifts from his parents. I didn't know until Easter. I'm sorry. At 9:07 a.m., we were called into the courtroom. The room was smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights. The judge was a woman in her 60s with steel gray hair and reading glasses on a chain. Case number SC-2026-004782, Morgan versus Morgan. Small claims, $5,247.86. Justin and I sat at opposite tables. Monica sat in the gallery behind Justin. The judge looked at me. Ms. Morgan, you're the plaintiff. Please state your case. I stood up. My voice came out steadier than I expected. Your Honor, on August 17th of last year, I added my brother Justin Morgan as an authorized user on my Chase credit card. The agreement was that he would use the card only for family emergencies, medical bills, car repairs, urgent necessities. Over the next 8 months, he charged $5,247.86 to the card for non-emergency luxury purchases while telling me he was buying necessities. I have bank statements, text messages, and photographic evidence. I laid out the folder on the table. The judge gestured for me to bring it forward. She spent 4 minutes going through the statements. Her expression never changed. Then she looked at Justin. Mr. Morgan, your response? Justin stood. He was wearing a suit I didn't recognize. Probably new. Probably expensive. Your Honor, my sister is twisting the situation. Yes, I used the card. But everything I bought was for my children. I have 5 kids. She has 1. She makes good money and doesn't understand what it's like to support a large family. I was going to pay her back when my financial situation improved. Do you have evidence of intent to repay? Payment plan? Written agreement? We're family. We don't need written agreements. She said I could use the card. For emergencies, I interjected. I have text messages where I explicitly stated that. The judge held up a hand. Ms. Morgan, I'll ask you to speak when I address you directly. Yes, Your Honor, sorry. She turned back to Justin. Did you repay any portion of this debt? No, but did you communicate with Ms. Morgan about your inability to repay? I told her I needed time. Did you stop using the card when she expressed concern about the balance? Silence. Mr. Morgan? No, he admitted. But I needed... Your Honor, I said. I'd like to submit supplementary evidence. She nodded. I pulled out Monica's envelope. These are bank statements from the defendant's joint checking account provided by his wife. They show that during the same time period he was claiming financial hardship, he made multiple large luxury purchases including $2,400 at a Las Vegas casino, $1,800 at a high-end restaurant, and $3,200 for a television. The judge took the envelope. Her eyebrows rose slightly as she reviewed the statements. Justin's face had gone from confident to pale. These are from the same months you were using your sister's credit card for what you claim were necessities? Those were business expenses. A casino in Las Vegas? A 75-inch television? The TV was for the kids. While you owed your sister $5,247.86 for other purchases you made for your kids? He didn't have an answer. The judge set down the papers. Mr. Morgan, did you give Ms. Morgan's daughter a gift at a family gathering on Easter Sunday? He looked confused by the question. Yes, a doll. Can you describe the condition of this doll? His lawyer? Wait, he didn't have a lawyer. He was representing himself. It was used, but it was still good. Was it broken? Silence. Mr. Morgan, was the doll broken? It was missing an arm. But kids don't care about. On the same day you gave her daughter a broken doll, your children received new tablets and designer clothing. Is that correct? I don't see what that has to. Purchased with Ms. Morgan's credit card? Justin's mouth opened, closed. Some of them. Yes. The judge removed her reading glasses. Mr. Morgan, I've reviewed the evidence. You fraudulently used your sister's credit card for luxury purchases, while misrepresenting the nature of these purchases as necessities. You made no effort to repay the debt. You continued charging even after she expressed concern, and your own financial records show you were making large discretionary purchases during this same period. Do you have anything else to add? She makes more money than I do, he said, and his voice had gone desperate. She doesn't have as many expenses. It's not fair that she... Life's not fair, Mr. Morgan, but contracts are, and small claims court is. She put her glasses back on. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff. You are ordered to pay Ms. Chelsea Morgan the full amount of $5,247.86 plus court costs of $125 for a total of $5,372.86. Payment plan, $450 per month beginning August 1st, with the balance due in full by March 2027. Failure to pay will result in wage garnishment. Case closed. She hit her gavel at exactly 9:34 a.m. I stood there for a moment, not quite believing it was over. Justin didn't look at me. He gathered his papers and left through the back door without a word. Monica came over. I'm sorry for all of it. Thank you for the bank statements. He's not a bad person, he can't say no to himself. She paused. I'm filing for separation again. For real this time, I can't do this anymore. I understand. She left. I walked out of the courthouse into the July heat. It was 88 degrees and the sun was blinding off the courthouse steps. My father was waiting in the parking lot leaning against his truck. How'd it go? I won. He pulled me into a hug. Good. 6 months later, I was sitting in my living room on Christmas Eve, watching Kay arrange presents under our tree. We'd gotten a real tree this year. 7 feet tall, full and green, smelling like pine and winter. Justin had made exactly 3 payments of $450 before defaulting. The court had started garnishing his wages in October. I'd received $1,876.23 so far. I'd probably never see the full amount. But that was okay. My mother still wasn't speaking to me. Justin had told the family I'd destroyed his finances and ruined his marriage. Some people believed him, some didn't, but I'd stopped caring what they thought. Kay looked up from the tree. Mom, can I ask you something? Always. Why doesn't Uncle Justin come over anymore? Because sometimes people hurt you and you have to decide if they get to keep doing it. Did he hurt you? Yes. Do you miss him? I thought about that. I miss who I thought he was, but that person was never real. She nodded like that made sense, then went back to adjusting the ornaments. My phone buzzed. A text from my father. Coming by tomorrow at noon with Kay's big present, don't peek. I smiled. The house was warm. There was hot chocolate in the kitchen. Kay was happy. We had a tree, we had each other, and I had something I hadn't had in months. Peace. If you're watching this and you've ever been the person everyone goes to for money, the one who's expected to help no matter what it costs you, type, I was the ATM in the comments. Or if you set a boundary and people called you selfish for it, type, I said no anyway. Both are brave. Both are necessary. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories just like this one. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas.